Humanity finally reaches the edge of the solar system only to encounter an impassable barrier and a warning not to try and breach it. But is it there to keep us in or to keep something else out? Humanity was expanding. It was time to go. It had been 200 years since humans had reached the edge of the solar system. It had taken 2 years to journey that far back then, and now they could pass the expanse from the sun to the edge in just a few tens of minutes. But they could never pass it. The Great Barrier hung invisibly encompassing the system. When humans had first approached, not knowing the barrier was there, they were rocked by the strong magnetic fields. A signal had flashed across the whole of the visible spectrum, lights turning on and off at high speed. They had found code easy to break and understood it was a communication meant for them. Go back. Do not leave. Go back. Do not leave. This had started an international crisis. Should they ignore it and push through? The combined decision of the world's elected leaders was no. At a vote tallying 90 to 60, the Earth had decided to stay within the barrier. The humans kept testing it. They found that both electromagnetic waves and physical probes were allowed through, but anything containing biological matter was prevented from leaving. The first casualty of the barrier was one brave astronaut's ham sandwich. The testing continued. The message stayed the same. But then humanity moved on. And then it expanded. First Mars, then Titan and orbital habitats around Venus and Jupiter. And they kept expanding. And in just 11 generations, humanity started to outgrow the resources of the solar system. And so it came back to today, the day after polling day. Every human across the expanse of the solar system had been allowed to vote on the decision of whether or not to break through the barrier. The technology to do so had been available for 120 years. And the results came in. 96% voter turnout, 76.24 in favor of breaking through the barrier. It was too late. They weren't ready yet. I couldn't even send another warning. It took all I had to maintain the barrier. I had tried. But they didn't even know what they were in for. I had watched them for so long, keeping them safe. Goodbye, dear friends. You have finally discovered why aliens abduct humans. Due to a loophole in galactic law, caring for a small group of humans grants tax exemptions. So you're not going to stick a probe up my butt? Sometimes all you can do is crack a joke, regardless of the situation. A nude man sweats while restrained on a stainless steel metallic chair. Fear can overpower the freezing effect of skin on metal, especially when confronted by two vaguely humanoid creatures out of a bad Star Trek episode. They make gurgling noises to each other before one places a small black box near its throat. The man listens to the humanoid ask various questions in different languages. Many he recognizes but cannot speak. Do you understand me, human? Yes. He leans forward a bit, rocking the chair. Yes, I understand you. Good. So we have good news and bad news. Bad news. You've been abducted. So perhaps crazy people on the internet had been right along. The aliens were abducted us. For what nefarious experiments? How many autopsies? How many senseless scientific mutilations? The other part of the man knows that perhaps it would be best to remain calm. How exactly had he ended up on the ship? He didn't know. In bed one moment, butt-ass naked and strapped to a chair the next. You know, normal Tuesday stuff. The humanoids are wearing clothing of some kind. Okay, there doesn't appear to be any kind of weapon or torture device nearby. Just a sterile room, extremely cold. Serious testicular shrinkage. Listen, human, the good news is that you don't have to go back to Earth. What? More bad news. You're going to a human sanctuary. This seems like something he's seen on television before. What? One humanoid folds what looks like hands on the table before the human. Your species has a 83.458% chance of extinction, and since you're technically in alliance space, we have an obligation to safeguard your species. The other humanoid leans back. Also, you guys are pretty adorable. The weird fake inflections in the automated voice lent a surreal experience to this conversation. Either someone has just slipped him something incredibly strong, or he's lost his shit. So, here's the deal. You get dumped on a sanctuary planet. Sometimes tourists will come by and try to stick stuff up your butt. Just naturalist curiosity. The other chimes in that same monotone. Some may try to mate with you. The world is beginning to swim. Why are you doing this to me? Why me in particular? One does something close to a shrug. I don't know. You were just there. Why does anything happen to anyone? The human is most likely going to vomit. Besides, we posted a loss last quarter and really need every tax exemption we can get. Just thank whatever God you have you're not with us on business hours. The human can't stop blinking. Why? Because 80% of the time we're poachers. Ah. Both of them stand and lift the human from the chair, severing his bonds and leading him out into a misty hallway. Each step cold, the metal mesh digging small diamonds into his feet. At the end of the hallway, a room, a pair of beds, white clothing, a tray with puke-green slop. The door slams behind him. Enjoy your stay, human. An already sleeping companion. Slim, male, bald. A soft voice from the supposedly sleeping form. We can get out of here, but you have to trust me. You have finally discovered why aliens abduct humans. Due to a loophole in galactic law, caring for a small group of humans grants tax exemptions. When trapped in a metal box, whizzing through the cold void of space, time becomes a funny thing. It stretches and contracts. Hours feel like minutes and seconds can last as long as days. There are no clocks, no forms of communication. Just a bedmate and a copy of Goodnight Moon. He hasn't spoken since that one cryptic phrase at our meeting. Sleep, stare, brood, and think. Where are they? What is their destination? He can't feel the movement, but knows that he's traversing distances unfathomable by human standards. Perhaps he should feel humbled, knowing he can call the people on the International Space Station a bunch of bitches. Fuck orbit. He's about to go where no man has gone before. Except apparently plenty of men and women have gone before. Abducted humans. Nothing really special, just the facade of his importance. Not a word from the bald man. How does he sleep so long? In comes green slop from the door. Eat as much as you can before the nausea becomes too much. Artificial gravity, recycled air. At least there's a toilet, but the suction sounds like it could swallow a puppy. Silence, until the bald man speaks. You're lucky, you know. This craft has gravity and a toilet. He chews his slop. Must be expensive poachers or some shit. They mostly stare at each other. Who is this man? Where is he from? Truth is, you're never going back to Earth. Quarantined zones aren't even worth it, man. Fuck that dirt ball. He wipes a small dribble of slop. Not bad paste. But me, I've never had Earth food. Confusion. Where are you from? Not Earth. Born in a different galaxy in this local cluster. Some human settlements out on the fringes. Silence. Scrape the spoon on the tray. What do you mean, human settlements? How long have they been abducting humans? The bald man squints in deep thought. Maybe 2,000-3,000 years. We're a minority species, but doing pretty well. Just not allowed to visit our home planet until they develop. Interesting. Then how are you on this craft? The bald man shrugs. Easy gig. Get a slaver to sell you to an abduction crew, escape the cell, and wander about for information or expensive technology. Then disappear. The bald man makes a sharp blow of air. Poof. Why do they take us to sanctuaries? Another shrug. Humans make good pets, expensive, pretty universally considered cute. Some races fuck us, some eat us, some play with us, but we're considered valuable, not any kind of real threat. The bald man collapsed onto his back on his bunk. We're in the Milky Way, so probably in alliance space. It gets confusing after a while. Coalitions, alliances, federations, it's all just blah blah blah. The abductee farts. He's amused that his gas will forever be placed into this air circulation. I guess a sanctuary doesn't sound so bad. A snort of laughter. Most are pretty fucking bad. He sits up again. You have two options. Stay here and let whatever happened to you happen, or leave with me.